Hello and welcome to the second race of the Plan B any percent qualifiers. Right now we're having a race between Lusterris and MiiWii. Whenever they're ready to start, we're ready to go right now. You'll see they have an offset of 25 seconds down below. Basically, they set the time beforehand, and whenever that'll it's using a trick called DSTA, which will grow a seed moon in Sand Kingdom later on, saving around like 10 to 12 seconds.
Oh.
My mic's being weird. Shoot. Hello? Let me hear what it's like. It seems fine. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, yeah. Okay. I don't know what that was. I should be fine now. Okay, so now they've started the race. Cap Kingdom, I don't think there will be much of a difference. I do know Lusterris goes for Vault left side, which loses about half a second, but I mean, I'm not sure if he'll be doing that now or if he'll go for triple jump or something. Yeah, so Lusterris gets a slightly earlier wake up than MiiWii. Could be due to physical difference or maybe just switch loads. Oh yeah, MiiWii has face cam. So it didn't look like there was much of an issue right now at the start of Cap. Any sort of difference. You do see MiiWii go for Rail Ride, which saves about like 0.1 or 0.2. It's a pretty minimal time save, and it's fairly risky. And in Frog Room, you're just going to see some frog vectors. Essentially, by turning the frog mid-air, you'll be saving a little bit of time, just because diagonal speed is more than like straight speed. And they both get Strav vectors, which is a nice time save. Okay, Lusterris missing left side. It's a bit of a time loss, but shouldn't be much in major scheme. Yeah, I think MiiWii's getting a 219. Lusterris getting a 224. Overall, pretty good caps. Well, I mean, pretty good if Lusterris hadn't missed left side, I would think. Yeah, 224, 225 for Lusterris, and I forgot to look at MiiWii's wire exit. Yeah, 219. So I'm not sure what's going to be happening in Cascade. I feel like it's kind of hard to tell at this point to which runners are going to go for DSS and which aren't. I think MiiWii doesn't, and I think Lusterris does. But I could be wrong about that. I guess we'll see right now. DSS is a trick where you climb up the wall right like before the dyno, and it saves about 8 seconds, skipping the cutscene and stuff. Okay, MiiWii's doing dyno skip. Lusterris is too, okay. So neither of them opting for it. It's a very tough trick though, it's extremely precise, so it's not like crazy that they aren't going for it at this level. I'd say a majority of speedruns still die to DSS, even after it being discovered like over a year ago. Both runners getting dyno skip, which is nice. It's unlikely that they'd miss it, but this game has some weird boss triggers, so sometimes they'll miss it. Okay, no issues in the Meta Brood fight for either runner. Neither of them missed Shakeless or missed any like major amount of coins. Everything seemed very tight for both of them.
Oh, hi there.
Hello.
Hi. I am Eden8. You may know me from the match from 15 minutes ago. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you? I don't know if you're asking me.
Yeah, I was asking you.
I don't know.
So
okay, so let's see if they're going for chest clip. Yeah.
Alright, okay.
Okay, MiiWii's not going. Chest clip only saves like. Okay, neither of them are. It only saves like 0.3 if you get it perfectly, so it's definitely not like mandatory at pretty much any level.
Yeah, chest lip. I know some runners don't go for a chest lip in races because they just feel like they can just lose too much time if they don't get it. So yeah, I think it's understandable that neither of them are going for it.
You know, the backup, if you miss chest clip, loses like 2 seconds, so it's definitely like a major time loss if you miss it compared to like only saving like 0.3.
Yeah, so there's about 6 seconds between them so far. But yeah, we're going to go into Sun Kingdom. And Sun's one of those kingdoms that like you can lose quite a bit of time by like missing Dram or something. So yeah, it can be one of those kingdoms that can be like integral, sort of. So, I guess it is like 4 minutes and like 50 seconds long, like nearly 5 minutes. Like it's probably the second longest kingdom in the run at this point.
So here's where the DSTA movement comes in.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's just there's a lot of really jank collision there, which can eat inputs or cause a lot of value dives. Like the blanket and the cactus right there cause a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Both runners seem to get it pretty well though. MiiWii did mess up a bit, but not enough to miss the bird cycle.
Yeah, even if you miss the bird cycle, there's like plenty of chances to back it up. Since you can do it like after the pipe, I guess, if you run away, or you can even do it after employees only and do hire no bird. And Lusterris did have Lusterris managed to catch up a bit there because MiiWii bumped just before going to employees only. So he's looking ahead right now, which is interesting.
Yeah. Lusterris caught up a bit. Mainly it seems like it was because of the early roll cancel into the door. It seemed like MiiWii roll canceled a little later, which actually is a decent amount of time save because the door won't open while you're rolling.
Yeah. So both of them are going to do this ice jump here. And the next part will probably be the most important, which is getting this drum strat here. And if you don't know what drum is, it's basically where you like kind of place Cappy on like a capture, like they're doing so now. And then you kind of like home in Cappy by shaking your controller to teleport into the capture. And they both got it fine, and it looks like they're both to set up for a single bill as well.
It looks like Lusterris won't be getting single bill because he missed the spin pad on the crate, or at least it'll be very tight, yeah.
Yeah.
So going back for the second bullet bill.
Yeah. Not doing single bill can lose like a second with the way that Lusterris did it. But I mean it's fine.
Both runners are opting for reverse Jaxie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a reroute that really only saves like 0.7 if you do it perfectly, with a lot of really tight tricks. Like up here, they're going to be getting this Pillar Moon wall jumpless, which requires an up warp.
Yeah, reverse Jetsy is one of those things that runners opt to do. Because even though like Jetsy skip can seem like pretty trivial, reverse Jetsy is just like one of those things where like some people actually are more comfortable in doing the movement that we just saw, and of course it saves a tiny bit amount of time as well. So yeah, some good sand techniques used by both of these runners.
Yeah, and up here there's a Dune Moon, which can generally cause some runners a bit of trouble. The ground pound spot is very small compared to most others, but both runners seem to have a pretty easy time getting it. MiiWii went over by a bit, but seemed to back it up pretty well.
Yeah, MiiWii not getting that single spin throw, whereas Lusterris managed to get it. Oh, and MiiWii fell down. Well, I've not seen that mistake from a runner in a while, actually. So Lusterris is gonna pull a bit ahead here, as they'll go on to the Lake Kingdom, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it's not uncalled for runners to go to wooded first, but it would surprise me for either one of them to do it here, just because it seems like there's not really any sort of like safety issue with going to lake. Like sometimes runners will choose wooded first just to get out of the way.
Yeah. Lake gives more options to get coins. I think I saw both runners get over 100 coins, which is actually really nice to have. So they could theoretically go wooded first, but if you get more coins, then that usually signals lake clip. But it's usually a toss up between like, oh, if I want to get lake clip first, or if I want to get nut clip out of the way. But yeah, most people just choose lake first because you know, that's just more traditional. I'd like to say.
Yeah, it also saves a tiny amount of time, but it's
Yeah,
inconsequential.
like you
It's
don't have to
about a
menu
frame.
down. Yeah. So let's see if both these runners go for late clip. I know some people just don't do it in races because it's a bit risky.
Okay, they're both going
But
for it.
yeah, they're both going for it. So
MiiWii gets its
yeah,
second try.
yeah.
Oh,
MiiWii had. Oh no, that's bad. So
yeah, so
Luster's
they're
had a.
both going to be losing
Oh,
time from late clip here.
yeah, they're both having struggle here. Struggles. MiiWii
Ooh,
gets it. Does the same mistake again.
yeah.
Luster's is the first one to get out of bounds.
Yeah, that's
And
ceiling there you have to go around, and it's very awkward.
yeah, like the way late clip works is that you have to kind of be out of bounds, but when you do the ground pound, you kind of have to be inbounds to ground pound, and then like go like through the ceiling. So it's really hard to do since it's kind of like such a short like place to do it in, and it can be really awkward. But both runners eventually get it, which is okay. But yeah, Dory's gonna be in a really weird spot for MiiWii. That's kind of like a secondary time loss, I suppose, since like obviously the further away like Dory is, like, you know, the more time you lose. Um, but yeah, you know,
Let's see
it's
if
nothing
either
that
runner's
they
going to go
can't
for the...
recover from.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to bring up the camera clip here, which doesn't seem like either runner's going for. It was originally thought to be a safer strat than going inside, but it turns out it saves about like 0.4 optimally. You can
Yeah.
clip the camera inside there and talk to the person inside the secret room instead of going inside.
Yeah. I believe that strat is usually for ILs, since I feel like if you go for it in a run, then it usually loses more times. But it's definitely better for something like dark or darker side, since obviously then you don't have to come out of that room. So yeah, it loses more time in other categories than this one.
You can see MiiWii's just about 4 seconds behind Lusterris. There was 1334 and 1338 exits. So both pretty respectable exits. I would think not for them, though, because of how long late clip took each of them. But pretty respectable for, I'd say, probably like 105 runners. I think that's around like their best exit time.
Yeah, when you're like 100 level, like these runners are, you definitely want like less than a 3-minute late. And that wasn't a less than 3-minute late due to the amount of time nut clip took. So yeah, but yeah, both of these runners are gonna do nut clip, which saves 40 seconds over the regular warp route. So let's hope they both get it.
Okay, they're both going for tree route. Looks like MiiWii dropped a triple jump though, which he backed up well. It was a pretty clean spin pound jump, but dropping that triple is a little bit of time loss.
Yeah, tree route saves a tiny bit of time, but most people opt for it because it lets them do the faster FRS, and these nut clips look really good. Yeah, so hopefully neither of them get soft locked or anything like that.
Ooh,
oh,
MiiWii's having a little trouble.
Ooh, that doesn't look good at all. Yeah. So MiiWii, unfortunately, going to be losing quite a lot of time due to that soft lock. It happens from time to time. So that's really unfortunate for him. But Lusterris will be in a really good position now for the rest of Wooded, providing that he doesn't die or fall into deep woods or anything like that.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of movement Lusterris does here, because getting the nut that he's about to get right here is a little interesting because there are a lot of different optimizations you can do, and a lot of them save very minimal time.
Yeah, looks like he's just doing to go for the regular strat here.
Okay, yeah. You can spin pound that nut there, but it's much tighter because you have to time an up throw instead of a dive. And it only saves a few frames.
Yeah. Lusterris gets that flower strip, no problem. I kind of briefly mentioned that I much prefer that to like the regular spin pound FRS, because it's just so much nicer to time your triple jump onto the rail than it is to try and get the spin pound roll cancel out. But yeah.
I think this FRS might be pretty clean from MiiWii. This is one of MiiWii's BTT segments, and it's incredibly clean. I think it saved like 0.4 over the previous segment.
Yeah. He also did that little rolling on that platform, you know, the diagonal one. I also quite like seeing that little movement there. But yeah, that was nice movement from MiiWii.
Lusterris opting to not do the buffer jump and instead landing on the robot. I'm not sure how much that loses, but it seems like it's a decent amount just because of a worse line and greater distance. But it's definitely much safer, especially for races.
Yeah, so now we see Lusterris going through this pipe segment sub-area. It can be quite tricky, especially if you accidentally mess up since the water is siphon based. But Lusterris seems to have no problem with it. That was a pretty nice sub-area from him. Let's see if MiiWii gets a similar pipe room here.
Yeah, it looks like Lusterris is about one sub-area ahead of MiiWii. I'm not entirely sure how long that is, but I'll figure it out when MiiWii globes.
Well, yeah, I'm really bad with globe timing as well, but we'll see when he splits. MiiWii.
Well, you know, it was a 44.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure when MiiWii's is.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. It's just one of those things I can't do. It's like some people can just time things based on like when they warp, and yeah, it's just like
Okay.
yeah.
MiiWii's about 35 seconds behind.
Yeah. So you know, based on that soft lock, that's not actually that bad because that means that all the time that he's lost is basically from that soft lock. Since that loses about 30 seconds. So, it's good that he's not like lost any extra time. I should say.
Yeah, let's see if Lusterris goes for the Cloud Hintart, Cloud Hintart. Oh god. Which is a pretty small time save, but I feel like he could go for it, given that he's going for sub-hour.
I feel like if he was going for it, then
Yeah,
he
he
would have
didn't go
gotten
for
it
it.
by now.
Yeah.
But it is hard to get. Like, for one, it's hard to kind of like find it consistently, I suppose, if you like don't really know. But MiiWii looks like he's going for it.
MiiWii got it. So,
very nice.
It's about a
so
1 second time save, and it doesn't lose any time in Cloud.
Yeah.
Because everything
that's
here is cycle.
That's the good thing about that hint art, is that it's like literally free time save if you can pull it off well. And luckily MiiWii managed to get that time save. So Lusterris is doing meme tree now. I've been seeing a lot of these meme trees recently where people go off to the right, which I like more right than I've seen like normal meme trees. So that's interesting. I don't think it saves or loses any time.
It saves
as
a
far
bit,
as I'm aware.
but
Yeah,
it's not much.
It might say frame, but yeah, that it's interesting that all of a sudden I've seen like these meme trees that are like doing more right. Yeah. So yeah, MiiWii kind of did that as well.
Yeah, that under the pillar moon, I think that's what it's called, is really awkward to get quickly, because its hitbox extends just past like the entryway to it, but it's only like it only extends at like a certain angle. So essentially, you have to long jump perfectly into it, or roll cancel into it, or you'll have to double back.
Yeah. Interesting. Lusterris is going for Stone Cage. I don't see a lot of 100 runners doing Stone Cage. So that's very interesting for me. Especially he's kind of like he's one of those runners who I admittedly don't watch very often. So that's an interesting strat.
Yeah, I've watched him a decent amount, but I don't seem to remember if he normally goes for cage triple. But it looks like MiiWii is, which should be okay. Yeah, so MiiWii got it, so that should be a decent amount of time save. Should probably be around, I think, 27 seconds if everything went well.
Yeah, he doesn't go for the up throw, but it just goes for the regular, you know, tap throw dive. Which is fine. It's still faster than dying, I think.
Yeah, it makes it a little more awkward, but I'd say like timing the up throw itself is also awkward. So here comes the Night Metro portion. It seems like Night Metro is something where a lot of stuff can go wrong, but also it's very easy for it to go right. Okay, so
yeah, so Lusterris, you can see, already made a bit of mistake there, not getting the you know, full timing on that jump. So, but seems to be doing everything else okay so far. Yeah, get some Goomba as well. Okay, let's see how
I wonder
MiiWii...
if they'll be going for Goomba. What do we call it? Goomba Heck.
Yeah, Goomba Heck.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm not going for it. It saves it only saves about 1 second, and it essentially just gets a faster cycle to that first elevator.
Someone in chat asking what was MiiWii's wooded, and if I'm doing my maths correctly, it was a 4.
It's not sub 5, I don't think.
I'm thinking doing the maths wrong. That was like a 4, then I was like, no, it's not a 4. It's a 5:56, I believe. Unless you mean exit time, then it was a 19:21. Yeah, sub 5 wooded, let's go.
New wooded guy. Lucid, you've been dethroned. Okay, so now we're into the Mecha Wiggler fight, which is one of, in my opinion, like the hardest fights in the game. I still struggle with it after playing this game for like over like a year and a half, pretty much daily. It's heavily RNG, which is, I mean, it sucks. RNG in speed games is just awful. But I don't think you can lose more than like I think it's more than like 10 seconds optimally for every cycle.
Yeah, well, Mecha is just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it sucks to lose time on, especially if you've already had a good night Metro. Lusterris not in 2 cycles, which is very good.
And right now, as you can see from MiiWii, he's kind of like manipulating the Mecha Wiggler to take tighter lines, which means that the portals will open and close faster. It's a bit of time save, but it's completely cycle dependent on the first, like when the first phase ends.
Oh, MiiWii getting the looping pattern. Which wasn't that bad in the end, but
yeah, it actually seemed like a faster like second phase than Lusterris, because MiiWii only missed 1 of like the 4 bubble things before the Wiggler stopped moving, whereas Lusterris missed 3.
Yeah, doing extra to each other one was completely separate. So not the best Wiggler patterns, but they didn't get free cycled, so it's not the worst thing that could have happened there. And on to Day Metro. Day Metro, I actually really like seeing the speed strats in Day Metro, because that Stuklip that Lusterris did, like the drive-by, I love that movement. And I also just love how satisfying like the rest of like this kingdom is. Like you obviously Lusterris missed the bench, but if you like land on the bench and then like get the good spot, it's just so satisfying to see. Yeah.
We'll see if MiiWii goes for drive-by, because I saw Lusterris didn't. Okay, MiiWii goes for
no,
misses.
Missed it. I think he went for the setup, kind of needs to tilt more. MiiWii. MiiWii.
No. There we go. Okay.
Lost quite a bit of time there, unfortunately. It's fine if you can immediately back it up, but yeah, doing what MiiWii did by like driving all around that convinced quite a bit. So
I think Scoop Clip only saves like 8 seconds if you do drive-by, or maybe it's like 5. So definitely losing time there to optimal
I think it
RC.
depends how good you are at RC car, but yeah.
Yeah.
Going into bullet building now. MiiWii still has the BTT segment for bullet building, and we all call it MiiWii building.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see if he goes for it.
Honestly, he might go for it, because like he might be thinking, I'm really like far behind my PB. I had that soft lock in wooded. I might just pull out my bullet building strats. It'd be really cool if he.
MiiWii building is essentially like you do a vault on top of the thing where you enter the building, and then and then it sets you up for another spin pound vault onto one of the poles, and it saves a ton of time, but it's incredibly difficult. Okay, I'm not going for it.
If he went for it in a race, we could have just like.
I would have popped off.
It's like, yeah, MiiWii wins. Alright, now Lusterris is going for this climb here. Not really doing anything fancy, which is okay. And gets the spin pound as well. He needs to also remember the hint art, because he didn't get the cloud hint art. Yeah, he remembers it. I guess you're more prone to forgetting that Metro hint art if you usually go for the cloud hint art and you miss it.
Yeah.
But yeah, seems fine.
Let's see what MiiWii does for climb. Because the crowded hallways room is pretty standard, like, unless you're doing reverse people's room, which I don't think anyone does, RTA.
No, yeah.
So MiiWii going for, I think he went for the vault strat, which is something Zivler did recently and got into BTT, and it was incredibly clean. But this moon right here, it's very strange, because it's essentially like you have one try to get it optimally, and then if you don't, you have no idea where it is, because all the floor tiles look the same.
Yeah, Cafe Moon is just one of those moons you get a feel for on where to ground pound over time, I think. So yeah, it's just one of those things you learn over time. So 30-20 exit for
It was a
Lusterris.
30-10. 30-10 globe fade out. Yeah. 30-20 cutscene fade out.
Yeah, I'm being dumb, you're right. I was like, I saw fade out, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, seems okay. Lusterris is only like 30 seconds behind his PB right now. Which isn't too bad, considering, like, you know, the mistakes that have happened in this run so far.
Yeah, so right now MiiWii is 44 seconds behind Lusterris from Metro exits.
YT Lucidity raiding. Thank you for the raid.
Yo.
Any YT Lucid debs in chat?
It's the actual wooded guy this time. That strat for that Enter Shiveria moon is so clean, and I can't get over it every time.
Yeah. I think some of the movement in snow can really be underrated, because when it's done nicely, like, it's just nice to see.
Looks like missed snow clip.
Tried going for the clip, but yeah, I think it was a bit too far away from the wall.
This room right here, it's kind of interesting to see because it's also cycle based, but you're actually faster than the cycle, so you have to delay a bit, and some runners will go for spin pound or triple jump off the platform like before the Typhoon blows on it. Looks like Lusterris went for spin pound, and I think that's faster. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. But missing the spiny minute, which only loses like a second. We'll see if MiiWii gets it.
Chat's saying triple jump is faster.
Okay, triple jump's faster.
Yeah, MiiWii also not getting snow clip, but I don't think he tried going for it.
Okay, both runners going for spin pound. It looks like MiiWii just essentially went as fast as he could to make the cycle, and then just waited for the spin pound, which is probably a more consistent way of doing it. Because it seems like timing it with the triple jump is just awful. Oh, and MiiWii got the spiny minute, and it actually looked really clean because the spiny fell off the platform as soon as MiiWii started rolling.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Something about this. Oh yeah, because when MiiWii was doing that spin pound, you could kind of see him like, just waiting for the, you know, whatever they're called.
The Taifu cycle.
Yeah, the Taifu.
Everyone calls them Blowy Joeys, so it's just always.
Yeah, I was like thinking of the actual name. But yeah, you have to wait for the cycle to blow you over.
Let's see what Lusterris does here for Snowdram. Because there are pretty much 3 options at this point. There's setup, setupless, and quick setup. I'm not entirely sure how quick setup works, but essentially it's like you just go into first person and then immediately go out. Somehow that helps.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what Lusterris seems to be going for.
Okay.
Ah.
That's scary.
Was that HCT Snowdram? I couldn't tell. It looks like my computer dropped frames.
What does... Okay, I'm a boomer. What does HCT stand for?
Home and cap throw. It's when you throw Cappy, shake, and then rainbow spin.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Seems like chat's just like very confused as to what happened. looks like MiiWii's. I think that's catching up. I actually don't know. I don't do Snowdram, so I don't know how long these loads take.
Yeah, well, let's see what MiiWii decides to do. Could you imagine if MiiWii just dive vault for no reason?
Dive vault spinless. Yep.
Dive vault Snowdram BTT segment? How?
Now we're up to Seaside, which is one of the, dare I say, duller parts of the run. It's essentially the optimal route is the beginner's route, so there's not really a lot of stuff you can do besides optimize fish lines, and fish lines don't really look like incredibly clean at any level. Like it really only looks bad.
Seaside's very strange. It's just, for me, you just lose time and you don't know how you've lost time. So Seaside's a bit of a weird one, but Lusterris kind of messed up that first moon jump. I believe he failed the backflip initially.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see if MiiWii manages to get it. Fine.
Okay, we were going for the Sharane bounce also.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fine. I feel like everyone also does that first move movement slightly a bit differently. Like, I've seen, obviously, the most common one is, backflips, I've seen spin pounds. I've seen triple jumps in some cases, so there's a lot of
I think triple jump is what the beginner tutorial says, so I think that's just what people kept with until they optimized their Seaside.
Yeah, so,
Ooh,
oh, and he went for the up throws, but missed it.
I think that was implemented maybe 6 months back. It used to be the optimal strat until Shobo found a roll cancel bounce there, which is incredibly jank.
Yeah. I like seeing little up throws strats in pipes, and obviously that mean because it just looks so clean to see those strats.
Yeah, something I noticed recently is something you really underestimate as a newer runner are neutral bounces and up throws. But when you watch a top runner, they neutral bounce and up throw all the time. And it pretty much always saves time. If you watch someone going for dino skip, they'll do a neutral bounce instead of holding forward to so they skip the wall jump. And small optimizations like that. So anytime I see those, I'm kind of just blown away by how someone was instead of moving forward, which you would think saves time, I'm gonna stay still and save more time.
Yeah, I think it's kind of because like you said, wall jumping can be slow, but also if you go too far forward in a lot of cases, you just end up bonking on the wall. So you can actually be kind of safe with a neutral bounce. So I think it's interesting how movement in this game works.
Ooh, MiiWii just missed fish clip, which we actually glossed over. This is a weird clip, essentially abusing the barrier outside of the kingdoms, known as a suckage barrier. It's really there are really only 2 main places I've seen that abuse, and it's fish clip, and there's suckage in Metro and Luncheon, which is basically like it's essentially Mario teleportation, but it's also like we're not entirely sure if it's teleportation or just insane like speed.
Yeah, I think it's because like you kind of put yourself sort of in the boundary a bit without being pushed out, and then when you recapture it, you can just kind of slide past it.
Yeah, that's the one in Seaside. That
Yeah.
one is essentially the barrier will reset itself when you move far away from it,
Yeah.
and then you recapture. Okay, I don't think either one is going to go for Spiritless, so
yeah. Spiritless has a lot of hard strats in it, so it's pretty understandable if like someone doesn't do it, especially in like a race, because
let's be
even though
blunt,
it can
Spiritless
save
sucks.
like 10 yeah, like even though it can save like 10 seconds, which is a lot, it really can suck. Like there's a lot that can like go wrong. There's a lot of places that Mario can die on. Especially that jump with, you know, the coin blocks.
Oh yeah,
that one I've seen like being messed up the most.
MiiWii going for the clean RCB there. That was a strat. Actually, MiiWii is essentially the luncheon guy at this point, because MiiWii has like every luncheon segment in BTT. Spoilers for the next BTT.
you can't spoil the BTT, you know. It's
totally not. It's like public knowledge now because of Weekly Dose of SMO.
I mean, there's a public spreadsheet and everything.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, this movement right here, I think once I think it was Lusterris I saw lose a run in luncheon to that movement after the sub area. I think he missed the roll cancel bounce after the fork. But that movement is incredibly tight, and well, it's tight if you do forkless. But Lusterris went for like the
fork.
I guess old strat fork.
Yeah, we have forkless and fork. But yeah, since I have a really bad any percent time, I just do forkless, I guess, but it's just kind of slow. And now that like the fastest strat is forkless, it's just like kind of funny to me.
We'll see how this fork room goes. I know that recently some runners have started implementing. Oh wait, they're not doing Spiritless. They don't need to get the heart. I was like, some runners have started getting the heart which saves like a tiny bit from health refill. But
yeah, nope, I think they only get the heart in BTT, but in regular RTA, Lusterris dies in fork room. Oh no!
That is the worst fork, because essentially you have to home Cappy upwards, but for some reason he loves to home downwards.
That's actually Dylan losing quite a bit of time. Like he's still ahead by a bit, but MiiWii can catch up a bit here.
Yeah. Skipping that last fork there, which Lusterris just did, is a little awkward, because you have to aim your left stick and then shake while not moving your left stick. Well, I guess if you use Joy-Cons, you can probably shake the right Joy-Con. Yeah, and we'll see how MiiWii does forks.
Yeah. I remember when 80% world record was like nearly sub-hour, everyone just like saw forks through and was like, oh no, this is a really bad part of the run, because a lot of people would kind of do what Lusterris did and like, you know, not get Cappy in the right place, so to speak. So it can be kind of like a Monka-esque moment though.
I'm interested to see. Okay, MiiWii's not going for the Sharane bounce strat there. Goryuya posted a Twitter clip, I'd say recently, but I think it was like 6 months ago, with a Sharane bounce there that saved 0.7. But I don't actually think anyone's implemented it in runs.
I've seen people do a Sharane bounce, but I don't know if it's the same one.
Yeah. Maybe this one's only for like turnip 2 movement, because it goes more right.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Okay. This
Uh,
movement right here, I'm excited to see from Lusterris because this movement here is jank optimally, but there's also a lot of different variations that I've seen. So not going for the cap return jump, which I assume is probably just more. It seems more consistent RTA because you can mistime it. Yeah.
Alright, Lusterris going for the easiest multi-moon in the game. Yep.
That one just surprises me every time. Like, where's the challenge in it anyway? Like, even if you don't see that shortcut, you're just jumping across platforms. Like, it doesn't seem like it should be a multi-moon.
Yeah. Is very interesting. It always I think that's what surprised me the most about Spiritless is that obviously because of all the cutscenes and stuff you like save 10 seconds. But the fact that you skip this multi-moon in Spiritless because obviously it's not accessible, it's just like crazy to me because like you know it's just faster to do the replacement moons.
In the old 1.0 days, there was a way to get that multi-moon spiritless, and I think it's probably faster for like 1.0 darker BTT or something. But obviously, that's not a thing that people grind for. So
Yeah, I on the topic of 1.0, with Turnip Clip, I was wondering one time if like you could do Turnip Clip and then get that meat thing without fighting Spirit. But when like even on 1.0, the moon isn't in the you know the cage bit. So you definitely have to like fight Spirit to get the moon in the cage bit. So yeah, it's very weird.
you can actually get that moon in the cage without Panbro. Like potentially, like we've proven a ledge clip there. It's just no one's done it on that specific cage because all those cages are the same.
Right. Okay.
This
Anyway,
Ruin fight. I mean, there's not much to say about Ruin, so I guess we can talk
yeah.
about the tournament as a whole.
Yeah. Usually in Ruined, I like to just shout out the runners and make sure everyone in chat gives them a follow. You know, make sure you follow Lusterris and follow MiiWii as well because you know they've taken time out of their day to put on this show for us, and they've done a pretty good job in racing. Like this race has been pretty fun to watch. So yeah, definitely give them a follow if you want to see more of the run, and also make sure you give Seren a follow, as they helped make this free stream possible, and also give Danster a follow as well since he helped set up this tournament. You know, just show some love to people who helped like set up everything. And also give my co-commentator Snoll18 a follow.
Yeah, and shout out to Eden8.
Eden8.
Eden8. Yeah. Also, back to the like race as a whole in this tournament. I know that this kind of stuff takes hundreds of hours to organize, like getting everything together, making the brackets, and then the races themselves. So huge shout out to Dansta and Saren and Plan B Esports for sponsoring this. PayPal for prize pool if you want to donate.
I need donate. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm just gonna farm ad bits.
But yeah.
Too late.
Yeah. Plan B generously gave us 250 euros for a prize pool, and that prize pool should be getting bigger as soon as the PayPal is open to donations. So yeah, if you want to help out in the prize pool, make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that.
I believe that's around 300 USD for like the Americans in chat.
Yeah, for the Americans in chat. But yeah, for now, Lusterris is going into Bowser's Kingdom, and this can be one of the hardest parts of the run, in my opinion, because not only like of all the little tricks and skill involved. It's also very nerve-wracking if you're on PB pace and
Looks
you
like Luster's going for Bird Dram.
yeah. It's very nerve-wracking on PB pace, since you're like, oh, if I mess this up, then I can throw my entire run. But,
So,
yeah,
as you saw right there, you have to have, I think it's 8 moons leaving Bowser's, and essentially you get 6, you get 6 story moons, so you have to pick up 2 moons elsewhere. Essentially everyone goes for the one after shards, so really it's up to Bird Dram, the Crates moon after bunnies, and the Glory Hole moon in shards.
Yeah.
Or whatever we should call it, family friendly. The fastest of them is Crates, but it's only by a few seconds over Bird Dram. I think it's like 2 seconds. And there was always a debate, actually, as to which is faster until recently.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like doing Crates because it's kind of got a really weird jump that you can sort of fail quite easily. So you have to make sure like you're 100% confident.
And also shards. Looks like Luster's missed dive back, which is a weird trick. I honestly don't understand how anyone gets it, but we'll see. I wonder if it's possible that like missing dive back can make a Pokio cycle, and like that could be fast if you miss that. But let's see what MiiWii goes for. Okay, also not doing birdless shards, which only saves I think like 0.5. That's what dive back looks like if done successfully. It's
I'd say
so jank.
Yeah, it's weird because obviously you have to kind of move Mario to that platform, whilst at the same time you have to sort of home Cappy in on that shard. So it's kind of awkward, I guess. Okay, let's see. Lusterris setting up Bowser Drum. Camera's weird now. Okay, let's see if he gets it second try. Yeah,
and also here's the insta dive. Let's see if Lusterris goes for okay. Yeah, that dive right there, essentially normally you'll dive straight out, and even if you hold like right, you won't dive right. You have to hold a very specific stick angle. Ooh, and we got a Harriet first. Let's go. Any Harriet firsters in the chat?
Yeah, Harriet first. Give Lusterris the room right now. Harriet first, best gang. Don't at me. Harriet
Yo, this
first
is a good
ball.
race. We got 2 Harriet firsts.
Yeah, 2 Harriet firsts. This is a good day to do Harriet first.
Ooh, looks like MiiWii missed the first person Harriet. Yeah, that strat was either found or like popularized by Fur, who was an all means runner, and it saves like 1 second, but it's incredibly like precise. Essentially, you'll hit the bombs as soon as you can back to Harriet, and it's all cycle based. Yeah.
The latest strats for Harriet are so insane. Like I've seen the spin pound Harriets, and I've also seen like the ground pounds as well. And it's just so crazy how like the strats have evolved over time to get the obviously the most optimal fight.
Yeah. So you'll see right here, it looks like MiiWii's pulling ahead, but Lusterris does have an extra moon. So we won't really know until MiiWii gets his extra moon, which should be coming up after Bunnies. Okay.
Yeah. And
48 fade out.
Yeah, I think MiiWii's definitely gonna get the Crates moon.
Yeah, it's really his last option, because he's done shards and gotten past the second island.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if he manages to do Crates fine, and also the blind jump that's directly after it as well. That can be quite tricky, because Lusterris, his camera angle is better, since he's facing directly at like where he's meant to be, whereas MiiWii's camera angle is just gonna be like a complete 180 to where he wants to actually be going.
Yeah, and MiiWii's Bunny's fade out was 34 behind Lusterris, but of course we don't really have a good timing method until they enter like something consistent with the same amount of moons.
Alright, so Lusterris is the first to the mech fight. Let's see if he manages to do it okay. Yep, very nice climb.
Okay, going for Goryuya Topper, which is essentially the safer and ultimately like essentially the same as the other Topper required, which only saves like 0.2. It's much harder. Like I've seen Topper runners at like 58 level say, "I'm done with required. I'm just for the Harriet." And okay, going for TA or target acquired.
Yeah, so let's see if he gets this.
Okay.
I mean, that was a nice mech.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, pretty much shouldn't have asked for a better mech to have in a race. So yeah, very clean overall. Let's see if MiiWii manages to do the same.
5501 moon grab for Lusterris.
Alright, MiiWii also gets time required. So thankfully nothing disastrously wrong has gone wrong.
Yeah, really the only like mistakes in this race have been early. So like if this was like a PB like level run where like they were like fine like resetting an early game and they happen to get this late game, I'd be pretty content with that, and I think they probably would too.
Yeah, because obviously MiiWii's biggest time losses were like in Wooded and Luncheon, I think. So, you know, it's not that bad.
Yeah, so now we're coming on to Moon, which is a secret level in the game because when you're in Bowser's, they don't actually tell you that you're going anywhere later until you actually globe.
Yeah, because I feel like casually,
Did the timer stop for you?
yeah.
Okay,
I
just making
feel
sure.
like casually Bowser's Kingdom implies that Bowser is like the final thing, but obviously it turns out like, oh, you're not fighting Bowser at all. It's actually you know, you're going into Moon Kingdom and he's gonna force Peach to marry him. And it's all very weird because no one
Yeah.
attempts to stop him, so it's like,
And like people like go to the
we have
wedding
to.
who like you see along the way, and it's like, why didn't you help me? Yeah.
Yeah, you see Pauline and it's like, you're the mayor, Pauline. What why didn't you help?
Also, how did you get here? I had to go through 14 different worlds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's we don't ask questions. Was that an up throw?
Yeah, that was an up throw.
I've
That's
never
one of the
seen
places
anyone
where
do
I
that.
guess an up throw doesn't save time, but Top Runner, I guess, does it. A Top Runner.
Yeah, I've never seen like
Yeah.
an up throw on Moonstep, so that's interesting. Pretty sure all the people at the wedding were forced to be there, but how did they get there? Did Bowser like take his like airship or something? Lusterris getting a nice hat grab though.
I wasn't paying attention. Was that single or double spin throw?
It was
I'm not
a
sure if single spin throw is RTA viable, so probably double.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think you can hit the hat and then it like while you're rolling, and then the spin throw doubles back and hits it again. I think you can do that.
I love how Lusterris is kind of showing off how small the Bowser like fire breath hitbox is. Like I watched a video on it and it's like it's very small, but it gives the illusion that it's you know, huge, obviously with all the fire.
Yeah, I think it like at least in my casual playthrough, I think I died to that fire, so it's kind of embarrassing now to see how small the hitbox is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you actually have to sort of try to be hit by the hitbox.
Wow, we get it. Okay, I'm bad. So...
let's just get in the fast hats.
Yeah, that was a pretty swag first person. I don't think that does anything, but it looked cool.
We saw more first person strats pod. Alright. So
It turns out if you go into
going...
first person every other frame, you save time.
Interesting.
That's a joke.
Okay. So Lusterris is going into the escape. This is probably like the last chance that MiiWii will be able to catch up here, since he could die to 2D skip, he could hack up the pillars.
I wonder if MiiWii will go for 2DSS. Because like that is his trick.
I think if he knows that he's like as behind as he is, he might go for it, but we'll just have to see when he gets to it.
Yeah, so I think the first section is about 40 seconds into escape. So it looks like MiiWii's about 40 seconds behind Lusterris. Overall escape is like, I think, 210, maybe 230, something like that.
Yeah. So Lusterris nearly at the pillar room here. Just needs to swipe.
Yeah, it's a pretty good run for Lusterris, especially like in a race. Getting like a low 101, assuming 50 something pillars.
Yeah, probably.
MiiWii's going for 2DSS, by the way.
Oh.
Almost got it.
He's going again. Hog. Oh
Okay.
no. Again?
Yeah.
Again? Portion. Again?
Yeah. Essentially, you can skip the 2D section, and it saves like 7 to 8 seconds optimally, but it's incredibly difficult. I think the only person who's done it like first try in an RTA run is Dangerous.
Oh! He's nearly gotten it! Go! Go!
Oh!
Go! Go! MiiWii! Do it!
Come on!
Oh, it's actually close. Go on!
No!
Oh, go! Lusterris finishing with a 101.15. GG.
Let's go!
Yo, he did it!
Yo!
Let's go! The
Props to MiiWii just to continue going for it. Like, I feel if I was as good at the trick as he was, and I just missed it first try, I would have just gone in the 2D section.
Yeah, that was pretty pod of him to show that off in a race. But yeah, he's in the pillar room now.
Actually didn't lose that much time from that. Like, what was that, like 6th try or something, and like it was a long, like, final try.
Yeah.
And I think he only lost like 20-30 seconds there.
I mean, the main thing is he went for it.
And he got it.
Yeah, and he got it. So yeah.
Yeah, congratulations to Lusterris, and...
Yeah, MiiWii.
Are they coming in for a interview or?
Luster might check. Oh,
is it finished yet? Can I?
Yeah, it's just finished. Yeah.
Hey, I got like mid 102. I could have gotten like high 101 if I didn't lose like 430 to going for 2DSS for like a half a minute. But you know, it's chill, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was an alright run.
It was alright, minus the 40 in Wooded. If I hadn't lost the 40 seconds in Wooded, I would have won that probably. Also, I probably would have played better for the rest of it. But it's alright, you know. I apparently I lost like a few points or something, because like the closer the race is, the more points you get. But I didn't know that. But I don't care. I got the swag points, you know. That adds on.
Yeah.
Plus,
you got the swag.
Yeah, that race is kind of weird. I don't know. It wasn't my best performance. But
yeah. I believe since you finished a minute and 20
19.
seconds behind, you're gonna lose out on 8 points, I believe.
Yeah.
So you're going to get 22 points, basically.
Alright.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
23 points.
Slack points are not real, but they exist in our hearts, I guess.
Yeah.
Swag points are what's it? Intrusive? No, intrinsic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have gotten like 2D assists in like my IL DB, which gets a 58 pillars, so I can get it's like a 503. 58 pillars, so
did you just
would
dab?
have sub 5. I think I dabbed, yes, on screen. Yes.
So MiiWii, were you like kind of paying attention to a Lusterris's run? Like,
yes,
were you, like...
I actually did have his stream open. I saw how far ahead he was. I tried to do some things to catch up. You saw at the beginning of Shiveria. I went for an up throw strat. I failed it. Yeah, I went for backup. I just couldn't clutch it. I made some mistakes after. Lusterris did have a few mess ups, so and I feel like if I did recover it better, I could have. It could have been close, at least. I don't know. Maybe clutch out a win with her.
It was just really unfortunate, obviously, to see that soft lock, because that was probably the most defining moment of the race, because you both kind of made mistakes in luncheon, and obviously you didn't get fish flip first try in Seaside. So unfortunate.
There's this really dumb lake clip fail I've been getting a lot recently, where you hit like a ceiling, and I gotta figure out how to prevent that, because like that kills so many of my lake clips, even when I get the clip.
If I remember correctly, this was your second race against Lusterris in the past week, right?
Yeah, there was actually a race before this, but I actually had a practice mod, Moon Kingdom hype, that takes you close to the pillars section, and it it makes it so Bowser's later on in the escape section. So you can't capture him at the beginning and go for most of it. So I couldn't finish the game, even if like they just let me do it, even though I had a mod, which doesn't really save or lose time. But
I've seen that happen before, actually.
I think it has, yes, once.
In a different league, and I think it was Tyron and Mitch. They ended up doing an extra race that no one actually saw because it was all pre-recorded. I think Tyron had the mod on. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, but it's alright. This league's cool. I'm gonna do better in my other races though. It's just a warm up.
Just a warm up.
That's it. It's the first race in your group. Like, you can still gain a lot of points against Lightrun and G-Man. Are you looking forward to those matches? Like, do you think?
I'm definitely gonna play more and practice more, so I get on my game more. And those are gonna be pretty cool. Next race is... What's the next race?
In your group, or like today?
Today.
Source versus Door? No, that's...
Alright.
No, that's not. It's Silo and Okra, who's meant to be next, cool. I believe.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna head out, but... it's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you very much for racing. Thank you for coming in for an interview.
Make sure to follow MiiWii on his main and his alt, Cappy Gaming.
And you don't need to do them all. That's alright. Alright. Peace. Bye.
Alright, bye. So GG's to both Lusterris and MiiWii. Again, make sure you do follow the runners. Both very skilled, and if you want to watch more of their streams, then make sure you give them a follow. But yeah, if you want to watch more Any Percent League, there is another race 10 minutes after this one, which we just said was Silo and Okra. So if you want to stick around for that, feel free. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say too. I don't know if Saren or Dansta have anything to say about the next race, but that should be coming on soon and should be pretty interesting. From what I've seen, Silo has been getting more and more paces recently to sub-hour, so
yeah,
maybe you can finally pull this through.
Silo's been gaming, like, he could actually, like, get sub-hour in this race, and that'd be insane, since he's had quite a few paces into, Bowser's recently. So it's definitely not a race you want to miss. So yeah, make sure you stick around for that. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye everyone.